You don't fight against them. They claim to be you so they can have refuge and be in Jacob, God's chosen people. But they're not. They are shaping the legislation we see today that's destroying the earth. Okay? The Pentagon. The Pentagon, listen to this clearly. The Pentagon is not controlled by American government. The Pentagon is a military force of Satan against us. The five-pointed star. That's what the Pentagon is. It's the goat head. The serpent who went against the children of Israel. It's not a force, a military force that's protecting America. It's a military force that have a plan to do what Vespasian and Titus did against us in 70 AD. It's the same exact thing. We are at war. We're in the womb fighting against our brother Esau. This is what's going on, brothers and sisters, and I can't state it any other way. Okay? We have to bring it true. We have to bring it like it is. And I know, listen, some people is not going to like it, but we have to tell you the truth about it. Okay? No matter what nation, whether you Ishmael, Edom, Ham, Japheth, doesn't matter what you are. If you're willing to fight on the side of Jacob and fight on the side of the Most High, you are welcomed. You are welcome. But understand that you are in our fight. You are participating in our fight. Because the war is against the children of Jacob, the 12 stars, the people who bear the man-child. Now, for those who don't know what happened in 70 AD, I had that also up on Justin TV, and they took it down. So I thought that I would reiterate a few of these things while we have the opportunity, because there was a certain spirit coming out at that time when I was breaking it down. And it was totally deleted. They took it down because it put all the pieces together. Do you know that at the time of 70 AD, when the Romans were killing us, that you had preachers and pastors, or what you would call priests of the children of Israel, preaching for our people not to leave Jerusalem so that the Romans could kill them? Did y'all know that? They was telling people all types of things so that our people couldn't leave. And our people got slaughtered. Women were eating their own children because for a lack of food. The Romans entrenched around Jerusalem for 7 years. For 7 years. And cut off food and water. You notice right now where you all live, brothers and sisters, that your reservoirs are controlled. You can't even control what they're putting in your water, the fluoride that's giving you cancer. All they have to do is cut off a switch and you don't have water. And gate it off with military, and they can do the same thing in your neighborhoods they did in Masada. Okay, that's why the Jewish powers and the people that are controlling Israel today own all your utility stations in the world. When they go into a country, the first thing they buy up is the water and the utility. So they're about to do in the world, to the world, what they did to us in 70 AD. But let's not talk about them because we know what their job is. Let's talk about our people. What did our people do in the face of the Romans looking to kill us? Let's get this out of the Josephus. The complete works of Josephus. And I'm going to show you that according to the Bible, there's nothing new under the sun. Because you have people in Babylon becoming fat like a turkey, being prepared to be eaten on Edom's table, on the European powers' table, and telling the people to sit pat. You got some people over there teaching that the ships are going to pick them up and take them someplace. You have other people's teaching that the government is going to come to their senses and say, you know what, let's just come together and put our money together and put all the Israelites on planes and send them back home. Let's see, and that's why I put out that scripture, there's nothing new under the sun. Let's see according to the scriptures right here, according to Josephus, who with his own eyes recorded the fall of Jerusalem. What did the preachers and the priests say during the time of our fall? What chapter and verse you at, and what book you're in Josephus, Lloyd?
Wars of the Jews, book 6, chapter 5.
Wars of the Jews. You're in a war, brothers and sisters. Read.
And now the Romans judging, it was in vain to spare what was around the holy house, burned all those places, as also the remains of the passages and the gates, two excepted the one on the east side, and the other on the south, both which however they burned afterward. They also burnt down the treasury chambers, in which was an immense quantity of money, and an immense number of garments, and precious goods were reposited. And to speak in all a few words, there it was that the entire riches of the Jews were heaped together, while the rich people had built themselves chambers to contain such furniture. The soldiers also came to the rest of the passages that were in the outer court of the temple, where the women and children and a great mixed multitude of the people fled, in number about 6,000. But before Caesar had determined anything about these people, or given the commanders any orders relating to them, the soldiers were in such a rage that they set the passage on fire, by which means it came to pass that some of these were destroyed by throwing themselves down headlong, and some were burnt in the passages themselves.
So here it is, you got the Roman armies buck wild, losing their minds, would have full autonomy to do whatever they want to do to our people. Sound familiar to you? They go into the temple, take all of our gold, and raid our gold, and take it and put it in their deposits. Sound like what's going on in Libya, don't it? Then they go into Libya, they beheaded our people, they went against Gaddafi, and they took his gold. Sound familiar? They freeze his assets and say they're going to give it to the rebels. Who's the rebels? The banks? Read.
Nor did anyone escape of them, nor did one of them escape with his life. A false prophet was the occasion of the people's destruction.
Now, it says because of this false prophet, it was the occasion for the people destruction. What did this is the guy they trusted in the Lord. What did this false prophet tell them?
Who had made a public proclamation in the city.
He made a public proclamation. He went before the city. Now here it is, the Romans killing people, destroying people, and our people had a chance to get out. But this prophet came and said what?
Who made a public proclamation in the city that very day, that the Most High commanded them to get upon the temple, and that they should receive miraculous signs of deliverance.
So he told them just to sit around the temple and wait for a sign. Do that sound familiar? These same people get slaughtered because they listen to this guy tell them to sit around. Read.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets, suborned by the tyrants, to impose on the people.
So the tyrants, which is the Romans, actually had their own false prophets go amongst the people. Don't forget, these are spiritual people. So you must have people of great orators that believe who can show them. So the Romans were paying prophets to keep the people still while they were being killed. Read.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets suborned by the tyrants.
Go ahead.
To impose on the people, who pronounced this to them, that they should wait for deliverance from the Most High.
Read it again.
Now there was then a great number of false prophets.
There was a great number of false prophets saying what?
Suborned by the tyrants to impose on the people.
Told them to tell the people what?
Who pronounced this to them, that they should wait for deliverance from the Most High.
They should wait for deliverance from the Most High. Do that sound familiar? Do that sound familiar? If the Most High say flee, you flee. Read.
And this was in order to keep them from deserting.
This was in order to keep them still. And you know